Hey, it's Rob from Wheelworks Bike Shop in Dublin. We are unboxing a couple of bikes today. I think they're all Speed Concepts, and I've no idea what any of them are. They were ordered a while ago. We opened a new shop about 2 weeks ago, and with the craziness that went with that, oh, this is really cool. Oh yeah, okay. With all the craziness that was going on, there's been no unboxings done in the last, or very little done in the last month, so Chad has a list of them. I came in today to a big long list of homework that needs to be done. Okay, I think we've had this colour before. We've definitely had the colour before. I'm pretty sure it was a Speed Concept. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay, so this is an SLR 8, which is the previous generation SRAM Red. It's like half an SLR 9 build and half an SLR 7 build. So it's SLR 9 would normally be SRAM Red with the Aeolus RSL wheels. SLR 8 is the previous generation SRAM Red with the mid-range wheels, the Aeolus Pro. So it's they're pretty good value. There's almost no difference with the SRAM Red, the previous generation and the current generation on a Tri bike, because the biggest difference on the road group set is the hoods, which the lever switch doesn't count and the sun's come out. We've been trying to get we have another bike inside with a really fancy paint job, and every time the sun comes out for like 14 seconds we run out with it and then the sun's gone. Anyway, we'll spend all day trying to get the sun for the sparkly paint job. We have a load of Speed Concepts to do. We're coming right into the busy time of year for us on Speed Concepts, which is funny. The seasons on Speed Concepts they're probably very counterintuitive. So we're the 2nd of October today. So in the northern hemisphere, it's the end of season for pretty much everybody. Ironman Barcelona is on this weekend, but to all intents and purposes, the pool the last 2 weeks has been empty when we go in. There's very few people left swimming. They're all finished. A lot of the big 70.3s and Ironmans were on last week and the week before, so they're all done. They're finished. They don't want to be training now. They're taking a couple of weeks off. They're eating cakes and drinking beer, or they're switching over to running the Dublin Marathons on in 4 weeks. And a lot of the triathletes will they'll do their tri season, then they'll let their fitness carry over to the Dublin Marathon, and that's them done for the year. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about the bike. This is a high rise bar, so it's got the biggest rise. This is called Campfire, this paint scheme. It's a triple fade, goes from sort of gold to red to black, and this smoke pattern that you see, this is actual smoke. So when they paint this, when the paint is still wet, they get a flame and they waft it around, and the smoke sticks to the bar. So that's actual smoke. They're setting fire to something, a torch, and the smoke sticks to the paint, and they get this incredible finish on the paint. So the base bar is painted to match the top of the bike, which is this gold colour. It's a sort of an autumn sort of paint scheme. Anyway, I was saying that the season's nearly over. So what happens with triathletes is they'll take a couple of weeks off, they'll go run a marathon, something like that, and then by the time they get to November, triathletes are very type A personalities. They want to be doing shit all the time, you know. They're training all the time, or they're planning all the time, so they start to plan for next season. So they go and they pick a race, then they start to look at their performances this year, and they're thinking, okay, how can I get faster? And they look at a new coach or a new training plan, and then they start to think, I need a new bike. So we get really busy on tri bikes in November, December. I'll get a lot of people in chatting to me, talking about what they're going to do for next year. And we do a lot of the orders in November, December, and then a lot of those bikes are collected January, February, March, as we start to get into the duathlon season locally, and people start to train for their summer Ironman. So we tend to do a lot of tri stuff this time of year, which is funny. Most people would think that it's the wrong time of year for tri bikes, but we actually do. We do a lot of it now. This is one of my favorite bikes of the year. We had this for a really good customer, a friend of mine, a guy called Mike, got one of these earlier in the year in this paint scheme, and we had another friend of mine seen it when it was in and really liked it, so we ordered this from him. So this one was actually sold, I believe, if I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Paul. Yeah, exactly. So the Project One, if the bike is in stock, obviously it's quite simple. But if it's a Project One custom paint, custom build, the lead-in times can be anything from 1 or 2 weeks up to 8 to 10 weeks. So for somebody who's looking at a bike for early next year, they'll very often be looking now, getting the order in, and the bike arrives in a couple of months if it's a custom one. And we'll typically get that order in as early as we can, because we're quite happy to sit on the bike here until the customer's ready, and then they come in and collect it whenever suits them. But if we wait until December or January to order it, then you could be looking at March, April, May, which is starting to get very late if somebody's doing an early summer or a spring Ironman. See you, Paul. So this one is. So the other thing about this is, this one is so the new Project One paint schemes. There's new colours and there's new paint options, but there's also some of the existing features are going that aren't available anymore. So up to recently, you could get the artist to sign the bike. So this is Kay Richmond. Kay's on Instagram, I think, as well. But that feature has been taken off it now. So if you don't have a signed bike now, you can't actually get one. They're not available anymore. I don't know why that is, but it's been taken off the Project One system. That custom option isn't available anymore. So that's a Speed Concept SLR8. It's in Campfire Smoke, or Smoke Campfire, I can't remember which. And yeah, can you not put the, okay, so you could put your own text on it, so you could put your name and stuff on it, but that's gone now as well, apparently. So that's it in terms of the overall. There's a couple of details down with the Speed Concept that are really cool. You've got internal storage, so you carry your tubes and mini tool, CO2 inside the frame. Your aero bottle or your regular bottles go on there depending on what you want to use. You've got internal storage in the top tube here for food, so your gels or bars or whatever can go in there. You've got an ISO-speed decoupler built into the frame here, which is like a shock absorber. The seat post is mounted separately on a bearing system, gives you some flex and some comfort. There's some other integration on the cockpit and on the saddle. We'll go through that when we get the bike built, and we'll do a full review of it. So that's Speed Concept SLR8 in Campfire, and I'm Rob from Wheelworks in Dublin.